BarbershopPodcast.com. That's where you are. That's what you're hearing. And,
that's groovy.
That's good stuff. In the vibe is electric in the studio today.
It makes me want to drink booze. That music.
It's bum shakin'. It's a song about the man we have in the studio tonight, about an infamous world Canadian-wide tour that he took that spawned, a movie that's, one of a great prolific body of work that Bill Wilson, Cadillac Bill, is with us today. How you doing, Bill?
Good, thanks, Kevin. Thanks very much for having me into your basement.
It's not a basement so much as it's a cave.
It's a big, glorious studio you've got here. I feel it's a wonderful pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me.
The opulence is something that we work on. Andrea Lake.
Every room is an environment, huh?
Yeah, she saw it and she said, I've been doing a lot of interior stuff, sewing and whatnot. If you need some help with the decoration. I guess she wasn't really loving the paneling.
I
think the ceiling should.
This place needs some little lace doilies dotted about, and a sort of maybe some potpourri or something. Well, a woman's touch will really help this place, Kevin.
I think it has its own vibe, but I get what you're saying. That perhaps
you could give it the Susan Atkins touch and put Helter Skelter on the wall.
A little bit of this
touch.
Maybe some nice ointments and some black light.
We could have a different set dressing on a regular basis.
All of your guests, you should douse them down, hose them in grease.
Green screen would work, because every week you could have a different green screen.
Good point. Good one. Oh, by the way, I just want to say this is Mike
Holler,
he's the bass player for the Creeping Band, and as you can see, he came in his stage outfit too.
Yes,
he's really fetching.
Yeah, Mike Holler is
so Mike,
engineer, producer.
Thank you for dressing up for this, and I want everybody
it's all about
to
the
see
look.
My jacket here.
See, now that's a look.
Something else.
Can everybody see me?
Down.
You don't understand that even in a basement like this,
bold
it
and
sparkles.
sexy. That's it.
Yeah, and it shines.
That's what sells. Records, man.
I'll
Records.
Just sit like this from now
bold,
on.
sexy.
There we go.
He's got the brains, and I've got
He's
the
lighting
brawn.
it up like Jesus himself here. It's not any kind of.
That's what sells units. Lots. And lots of units.
This jacket's going to get your ratings up there, Kevin.
I have no doubt that it's going to get something up there.
These sequences are going to bring his ratings right up, sky high. You're going to have maybe you might even reach 200 viewers, even maybe.
The story of the jacket, I imagine it probably reflects the story of Cadillac Bill itself. Something of a, when the first thing that comes to mind when someone says Cadillac Bill is a showman, and I don't think there's a dearth of showmen in the world today.
Well, you see, when I left England in 1974, Gary Glitter was huge. I loved Gary Glitter, and then we moved to Canada, and then I discovered Kiss, and that changed it for me. And in fact, my very first concert I ever went to was a Kiss concert, and my dad dropped me off at Maple Leaf Gardens by myself in 1975. I was about 11.
Those were the days.
First of all, can you imagine 11-year-old being dropped off at Maple Leaf Gardens by himself?
Yeah.
So I buy my Kiss concert tickets, and I didn't know about opening bands, so I thought the opening band was Kiss. So I'm like, there's a bunch of long-haired hooligans next to me, bunch of guys, and I remember leaning over and yelling at one of the guys because it was so loud, thinking, how come they're not wearing any makeup? And it was so loud that he couldn't hear what I was saying. He just shrugged his shoulder. And sure enough, later, Kiss came on and just blew my mind.
Yeah.
But that's basically how I ended up just right into the whole show kind of thing, with the bubbles and all that.
Well, music has has a way of capturing an audience in its own right, but sometimes people do expect to be able to sit on their stool and read their diary, and have people sit there raptured by it, and they get upset if people are having a conversation or clinking glasses. And you've never been afraid of that. I've seen a number of your shows over the years, and you always push it. As far as the fire codes allow. You were like, okay, I'll work within these parameters, but you must have had some interesting stories.
You can't do that anymore for sure. Thank you, Great White.
Yeah, we used to have flash pods, and I still set fire to my amp. But after the Great White thing, we really, for 2 years, we had to stop doing it all.
Yeah.
But actually, there are some clubs that don't allow the fire, but there are also some clubs that don't allow the bubbles, but they don't mind the fire.
I remember the Sudbury bubble story.
In Sudbury,
Sudbury.
Tell me the Sudbury bubble story.
We had this one. It was a horrible show. It was just it was awful. We had played North Bay the night before, and my brother-in-law at the time, his band thought that they were supposed to be playing, and there was a scheduling problem, and it was weird. It was like I'd never played with my brother-in-law before. Anyway, it was a fiasco. So we get to Sudbury and getting all the stuff ready, and the sound guy says, no bubbles tonight." It's like, what? Why? Bubbles? Nope. Bubble juice gets all over the cables. Laughing when I wrapped.
But the fire was
can't do that. But the fire,
it was okay.
the fire was fine, even though it was a drop ceiling. The top of my amp is about 6 feet from the styrofoam ceiling, and he says that's fine, no problem.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was a styrofoam ceiling. But,
well, it
the
was
bubble juice thing was
that was the problem. We've never had a fire, although we did have a drummer one time. We were playing in Chatham, and he had his drum kit set on fire, and he would pour the lighter fluid right onto the skin, and the skin broke, and the flames went right through, and the club owner had just recarpeted the stage.
Oh, no.
So there's this big round burn.
With your name on it.
He was furious. And then another show we did in London, the drummer had his kit on fire, and he suddenly stopped. I hear the drums behind me stopping, and there's him running out the back door, carrying his bass drum that's all on flames, running out the back door and just shoving it into a snowbank. He managed to get his kit on fire.
I've got a bass now that's a coat rack because it was completely hooped from a show in Kingston when the flames went under the fretboard of the bass, and it cooked the finish. I got normally it'll you can let it burn just like on your hand. If you give it a second or two, that's fine. 3-4 seconds, you're in the hospital.
Yeah, it's flaking.
Anyway, so that was it for that guitar for sure.
So basically, yeah, we've had our little problems, but nothing major.
Yeah, and you don't let things really stop you or slow you down. Like if someone I've known, you can be tenacious and very creative. Music is only part of what you do. Tell me about arts and coming up in England and Canada, and how you've, especially in the early days when the resources weren't as available as they are today, how you learned to do things and how you did them yourself in many ways.
Well, first of all, I built the bubble machines myself. I was a welder. But I've always thought that anyone, a filmmaker, an artist, a musician, should always think of the audience. They should never do stuff for themselves that they enjoy. They should be thinking of the audience all the time. What does the audience want to see? What does the audience want to hear? And my shows, it's exactly what I would want to watch if I was seeing a band. So I'm putting myself in the audience, and it's really nothing about me. It's about what people want to enjoy. I mean, they've just paid maybe $5, $10 to see a band. They don't want just to hear the music. So that's really what it's all about. It was from growing up being into Gary Glitter and Kiss.
Yeah, it made an impact. And you were into, I remember you have a few Gary Glitter stories we can't talk about, but Kiss.
I've got lots of Kiss stories, but very few Gary Glitter stories.
Yeah, most Gary Glitter stories we shouldn't really be talking
getting
about.
into, let alone referencing with a chuckle. But do go on.
No, I was also, I studied filmmaking. And one of my teachers just basically, he told me one day, he told the whole class, you're not making films for the audience. No, you're making films for the audience.
It's not yourself.
Not for yourself. So, and then the whole process of music. To me, music is a visual medium, not an audio medium. If a song's really good,
right,
I think it's stimulating people visually. They're seeing images. They're they're seeing pictures
Right.
when they're listening to it.
But there's a certain brand of rock and roll that when the music, the wild lyrics that you write yourself, plus some of the covers you do in your live show, were clearly influenced you, growing up, like that, real rock and roll sound, and you can brand that in many different ways. But you certainly have a flavor into the kind of music you like. But
I love simple music.
Yeah.
Almost like children's nursery rhyme kind of rhythm, just nothing fancy. Nothing complicated.
And that probably drew you to being able to play with Bill and drink and have a good time.
Oh, the best music is children's music. They just make it a little bit more sophisticated to allow the average adult to listen to it properly.
Yeah.
The guy from the Bare Naked Ladies, he went on to do children's music, and I thought, you've been doing children's music for the whole front part of your career at the same time, right?
Yeah. Right. Anyway,
I'll show you my bum.
Right now.
Want to see the ass?
Yeah,
Right now,
you're allowed to. All right.
Oh,
okay. That's
wow.
Mike's been working on his bum. Okay. And,
I think that's a first on the podcast.
it is a first on the podcast. And
Marvelously done there, Michael.
We've reached new heights.
Fabulous. That's
It's
really
rock and roll.
broken.
That's the thing.
No one-
He was just talking about the spectacle, and that's the thing.
you can't really
Angus Young turned that into a
millions of
$500
dollars.
million thing showing his ass.
So you like powerful, simple music that provides a platform
Telling
to get the
stories.
visualization and the
Telling
stories. Which what I wanted to get into. Your songs and the things you write about are crazy and funny and dark. It just comes naturally from your personality, or do you think, again, this is what I would like to hear?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I actually don't like playing music. To me, music is only a way of telling stories.
Right.
And so I prefer just, I like to write, and I like to tell stories, but the whole process of jamming and playing, it doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
The only time I ever play is when we're doing a show.
Yeah.
I don't even practice.
Yeah.
I should.
Yeah.
It probably shows.
And you
in my
always
shows
surround.
that I
No,
do
you
play.
surround yourself with excellent musicians at all times. So
Exactly.
even if you want to
People
phone it
like
in,
Mike here
yeah.
is what makes the stories
Yeah.
sound good
Yeah.
because of his bass playing.
and Billy Becker, who's
And
been
Billy-
with you for so long.
Billy Becker is probably one of the greatest guitarists in the world, and I'll tell you why that I think that. Because one day we're in the studio and had a song called Nosebleed Boogie, and I asked Billy to do the sound of picking a scab for the intro of the song.
Right.
Billy did that sound almost perfectly right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And if Eric Clapton was in the studio, and if I'd asked Eric, hey, could you do the sound of picking a scab? Eric would probably be fiddling around for about 20 minutes,
which kind of
trying to get
scab?
the right sound. He would have taken him 20 minutes.
Layla, that's the sound.
Billy did it right off the bat.
Bad.
And then we had a song called Roswell, New Mexico about aliens. And I told Billy, do the sound, make the solo sounding like so anal probing and stuff. Billy did it
Be the one
right
to ask.
away. And I know Eric Clapton, he would have had some trouble with that.
Yeah.
It would have taken him a while.
Well, to the best of our knowledge, he hasn't actually ever been anally probed.
Or everyone did back then, apparently.
He might just kill it too. He might just come out. And
You're right.
He might do better than anyone.
Maybe
Like,
Eric
It'll be a
Clapton.
challenge.
Maybe
That'll
I
be
should
a-
have got
maybe that's
Eric
what he was meant to do this whole time.
We'll challenge him via the internet.
It's going to be the apex of his career.
Eric Clapton, if you're listening, the
Okay.
challenge is out there.
I got two questions. The second one's longer to Bill, so it's going to take longer. Mike, because it's internet radio, and I can ask 3 favorite swear words. Go.
Fuck, shit, and piss.
Okay. And piss, I think, has worked itself into the lexicon. You could almost probably get away with it in school and only get a...
You can get away with it on TV.
Yeah.
And they say pissed off all the time.
Yeah.
The Tragically Hip gets away with using the F word on songs on the radio
Yeah.
far too often.
Yeah, I think that's the
Yeah.
Farley Mowat exclusion that you apply for.
He gets to say fuck?
Yeah, all the time.
Farley Mowat? Isn't he dead?
I'm just saying, if you're a Canadian icon and a friend of certain people, you get away with
Well,
it.
lucky for him. Being dead, I
for sure.
mean.
Oh, for being dead, yeah. Me too. Yeah, I'm dead.
Yeah. And Bill, I totally forgot what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Bill,
Well,
Sorry about that.
thank God for that.
I'm sure it would have been just as
It had anything to
enlightening.
do with me coming up with my favorite swear words.
No.
I wouldn't have been able to answer it. So
But, as well as, a big part of what you've been doing besides music, as you said, is filmmaking. You're a very visual person, and the music has been the vehicle that you've been using for your filmmaking.
well, I've given Kevin a DVD of this film that we've been working on for quite a while. It's called the Cadillac Bill story, and it's not available anywhere.
Yet.
No, not yet, and but it's all finished, and I guess if you want to play a track, it's
A taste. People need to have a little taste of what
I think they do.
They deserve it. And it would be very retrospective.
What do you think, Mike? A taste?
Believe it.
With taste. Okay, we're gonna spin some tracks instead of going just strictly audio, because we're always innovating at the Barber Shop Podcast. We're gonna go with video.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about that, Ryan?
We're gonna give it a good shot. Sorry if we fuck it up, but
Hey, we did it with aplomb.
People are going to see my ass,
yeah.
right?
I think you guys can
Why
pull
not?
this off.
We go freeze frame on that. All right.
Sit back, leave the driving to us.
All right. On Kevin's Barbershop, barbershoppodcast.com. This is number 3, Milky Way from.
No, it's Boomerang.
Don't look at the scar.
We'll do Boomerang.
You want to do Boomerang
Yeah.
first? All right.
Yeah, we want to do number 3.
Of the old stars are all driving used cars. God knows where they are. All gotten torn apart from what they did best. Some of them have left. Even if we wanted to, we'll never forget. All of those old has-beens, not the last they'll be seen. They'll be back, you count on that. Give them a hand and welcome back on Boomerang, baby. And I'll always be back like a boomerang, baby. I'll always be back. Lockhart can't get a mine apart, and Ringo Starr's probably sitting at a bar. Nat King Cole is a sorry old soul. Bobby Sherman knows he's getting rather old. Gary Glitter is feeling very bitter. Cliff Richard is out of the picture. David Cassidy's a typical tragedy, and Bobby V. Does anyone want to see all of those old has-beens? Not the last that they'll be seen. They'll be back, and count on that. Give them a hand and welcome back on Boomerang, baby. And I'll always be back like a boomerang, baby. I'll always be back.
Boomerang, baby. I'll always be back like a boomerang, baby. I'll always be back.
Wilson has dropped below the Nielsen. Richard Nixon, we all really miss him. Leaf and Garrett, I kinda think has had it. And the cask of laughing's pretty much packed it in. All of those old has-beens, not the last they'll be seen. They'll be back, and count on that. Give them a hand and welcome back on Boomerang, baby. They'll always be back like a boomerang, baby. They'll always be back. Joanne Woolley is doing very poorly. Danny Bonaducci can't afford a Gucci. Conway Twitty, let's show him a little pity. Peggy Lee, wherever could she be? A part of our past is gone and that's bad. Where are they now? let's get him back. They're an integral part of our past.
I'm a boomerang, baby, and I'll always be back. Like a boomerang, baby, I'll always be back.
Bud Bacharach is making a comeback. Bud Bacharach is welcome back.
Boomerang. Well, I gotta stop that shit.
Are we back on?
No.
Hey, Mike, try to act
If that was
normal.
made of paper, you could wipe your and we're back to the show. No, it was Cadillac Bill, and that was Boomerang, and that was a wicked little piece of filmmaking a few years ago. You're a little younger.
Many
but,
years ago, that was like one of my first videos I
big
made.
budget, you know.
I was making a video for another band, and I used all a 16mm for two of my own films.
Yes, you've always been resourceful, to say the least.
Stealing money out of all of their stock footage to make my own stuff. I threw together a little
something,
crappy
something.
film for them, and but
You need to look out for number one when you are on the rise.
no, I actually I started out when I was a filmmaker. I was living with the Cowboy Junkies, and they had their band room, so I figured they were having a lot of fun. So I decided to start up my own band, and they let me use their band room whenever they went on tour. So that's kind of how I got into music, was pretty much thanks to them. Well, not thanks to them,
but they
because of their
certainly
band room.
facilitated it, because you certainly need some room to play, you know, and put something together before you're roadworthy. Were you kind of like a studio rat, or were you like, no, I need to get out there into the taverns and do a show? So were you touring pretty quickly after?
Oh,
you picked
yeah.
up
Well, actually, right off the bat, we started playing, but I was terrified to go on stage. And for literally for the first 2 years, being in music, going on stage to me was like going to be executed.
Yeah.
I was so frightened.
the audience felt the same
Executed on
way.
I felt like it was the most frightening thing I've
Yeah.
ever gone through. And I still don't know why I actually continue to do it.
Yeah, you love the
Because
thrill,
it was
right?
horrific.
Yeah.
And I was trembling the whole time. And that's why from the first show, we filled the stage with bubbles
Yeah.
and smoke and everything else and penguins, because I didn't want people to see that I was trembling.
Or retching behind an amplifier.
It was like it's like
That's what everybody wants to see when somebody's getting executed. Bubbles.
bubbles.
so literally, yeah, the bubbles
And the
and the
band
smoke
played on.
was
Yeah.
solely as a result of being insecure and a fragile ego.
Did you drink in the early days?
Oh yeah. Oh, I had a couple of drinks for sure.
It would get you a little bit of edge, you know, to be able to do it, right?
Yeah, and you know, but I just don't know why I went on to do it, because for 2 years, why anyone would do something that would frighten them so severely.
Yeah,
It's it must be a brain deficiency I have to want to
a
do
bit
that.
masochistic, you know.
Must be.
I think any musician is, you know, but especially if you have a vision, you know, where it's like, okay, I have a vision that I'm driven towards. It's not like I can stop halfway and say I've done it, because, you know, clearly if it's like I want to tour across country, the logistics become secondary because you're going to make it happen.
Must
You
have
get
been.
executed every night.
It must have been how Jesus felt. You know? Really, this
He
was
had a gold lame
Christianity.
Now
jacket.
that's an execution.
I know that may be a terrible thing to say, but
They made a rock opera.
In case
about
I'm
that
judged
execution.
in the everlasting, I don't want to be. You don't want to make any enemies, Bill, at this point with the
no, we don't want to
Lord.
make any enemy.
Whatsoever.
I believe in Jesus, and I know how he felt.
Yeah.
So do I. He felt like this. Ah, fuck! Oh, fuck!
That's the spirit, Mike.
You need it.
Try and deny it for sure. There's no way, man.
So, These days, you find yourself being more drawn towards the visual medium, but you've said that music is a bit of a, it's a logistical hassle, but it's, your music always has a bit of fans who will go.
Putting on shows is a nightmare, Kevin. It really is. It's the whole setting up of the show takes so long. We don't have any roadies. I have to do it all myself. And, it's an awful experience.
And people don't appreciate a show anymore, I don't think, as much as they used to.
No, they don't. Well, I mean, I don't know.
It depends what they call a show, I guess.
Like, they seem to appreciate the bubbles and the fire and whatnot, but, it's just a nightmare for me. I've got to be honest.
Well, do you find it mostly that you still need to keep it alive because it's a vehicle for your writing? If it's like you read something, about aliens and alien abductions. Now you've written about that. Now tell me, is that immediately what comes to mind? It's like, oh, that would be a good subject for a song, and then you start scribbling.
Well, you see, when the whole theory about aliens and us originally coming from Mars, and the whole Noah's Ark thing being a spaceship where we move life from Mars to planet Earth, and about how aliens have been on this planet longer than we have, and they created us. When that theory started coming to me, I was terrified that the aliens were going to come and wipe me out.
Yeah.
It was like, I didn't want to tell anyone because I figured they were all listening.
Yes.
But they haven't killed me yet. I haven't disappeared. I've been saying this.
Execute.
There's still time.
And I've already got the word out, so although no one really listens. So the aliens are probably thrilled because no one's listening to me anyway. So they don't care.
Not at all.
It'd be so easy to kill. Nobody should be too afraid of an alien species trying to come and get us. If they look like us or even similar.
Yeah.
So what's your best, quick that you can remember, because you've, played a number of gigs with Bill over the years. You played a number of gigs for many years. You've been a musician in many different walks of life, so you can compare being a part of the Creeping Bent experience to other things that you've done. Now, relate to me a story that's, and remember, you can, other than incriminating people,
you can use obscenities.
You can use obscenities, and you can burn bridges if you're comfortable with, the flame getting a certain temperature. But otherwise, you got something, a funny thing said.
I saw Bill eat a hamburger one time, and it was the pinkest thing that I've ever seen in my life. And I said,
you won't feel
if we get killed in a head-on collision.
Oh, I used to be very cheap.
That will not kill him faster than the burger will.
I was broke. I would eat rotten food.
Yeah, tell me a broke story.
I grew up during the war, so I know what it's like for rationing and stuff, and it was rough.
It does suck for sure.
It was the Falklands War, mind you, but still,
you have to pick seeds out of cow shit to get yourself by, and that's only because the cow has partially digested the seed for you first.
No, I mean, in my day, we didn't know when the next meal was going to come.
Yeah.
The Falklands War, it was tough times. It was food rationing, and those Argentines made it rough on us in the West, and it was difficult times. We were literally scraping dumpsters just for our dinner, and. But,
they used to eat the grass right out of the ground without even picking it.
No, they used to eat the food right out of our mouths, those Argentinians.
That was brutal. And that was, Pinochet, was it not? He was a fucking bastard.
I certainly hope you don't have Argentinians watching your show.
The free Argentinians who didn't like being drunk and thrown out of airplanes over oceans and things like that,
It'll look good in a brochure.
Wasn't a nice man, I'm sure he was CIA funded. I mean, the DIB funded, the Department of bureaus. No, it didn't even work. God, don't kill me,
Kevin. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I like it. I like it a lot.
I was a bit scared there, wondering about influences and people watching us.
Well, then you're hired.
You're after me. So I want to play a little bit engineer, and I want to do one of your tunes. You want to do number 3, Milky Way? Is this one about?
No, I think we'll do Being a Human.
Being a Human. Because what's it about?
Being a Human is basically it's like a sort of a rap song about being a human being, and it's about me being born in England and growing up with a family looking after me and being sort of like an alien. So the song is actually, you'll see aliens in the song. You'll also see someone who's supposed to be my mother. She's showing me the Bible, and then there's another guy in there who looks kind of like a sort of hippie-looking guy showing me books on evolution.
Yeah.
So my mother's supposed to be trying to preach to me about, like, we were created. My father's supposed to be teaching me about evolution. So it's all about evolution, aliens, being human, that sort of thing.
Excellent. All right, so here we're going to have from...
Sounded pretty succinct to me.
Did I say that?
I think you delivered that perfectly.
Yeah, I think this is...
As always.
Good.
You're a smooth operator.
No, I'm not. That's I'm just kind of like when I'm...
No.
Well, I was talking about Bill.
Yeah, I know.
That's the wrong one.
You know what?
We can edit this all.
We might leave it in. It's kind of funny.
It is. People are laughing.
I think people
This
would
little
appreciate
nickel
it.
and dime studio. You got to have Kevin.
Do you think it's time for another ass
Kevin?
shot?
I think you need $10,000.
I need $10,000, and that, how hard can $10,000?
So you
I
can
actually want $27,000.
So you can actually cue this properly.
Oh no, nobody wants this. No, nobody's asking
Yeah.
this.
Do you want me to show my glittery jacket again?
Yeah, let's see the glittery jacket.
Pictures of the jackets here.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
All right. Okay, so this is about Cadillac Bill growing up with parents and stuff in England, being human, from barbershoppodcast.com, where it's as smooth as silk.
I was born in Red Hill, England in 1863. Got slapped on the backside and I knew it must be me. All the people around me I'd never seen before. They picked me up and took me home and kept me forevermore. It was also very nice, style and our ways. It's good to be a human once the figures out this maze. We dealt a hand of cards, but never learned the rules. Stick with this, a hand back that, who knows what to do. This ain't no bed of roses, you only get one crack. Unless you were real polite, they might invite you back. It's good to be a human, all the things we can do. I got a pose, thumb, just to hold on to you. I stand erect and I walk around. So many things going through my mind. Mothers and we're in this big world. As little babies grow up and they always must learn. Don't believe what you read, but be sure that you can. Stay back from the ocean, keep one foot on the sand. Everybody's mortals and they all band it out. That'll be the day of our life was all about. So much one can do, but there's little time to choose. Seems that one spends his life figuring out the rules. Keep your head nice and bright, your nose should be blown. Never chew gum while you're applying for a loan. It's good to be a human, all the things we could do. Got a pose and thumb just to hold on to you. A big brain cavity to help me think about whatever happened to the missing link. Of all the things around, there's only a few you need. But you better put them back when it's time for you to leave. We're all in this together, playing the same old game. With different colored pieces trying to get in the fast lane. We're all just the same, we're equal from the start. Gotta keep going till your body falls apart. It's good to be a human, all the things we could do. We can make another one if we really want to. Could be just the same
got to have a monkey. If we have an apprentice, what do you call it, Ryan?
Student.
What do you call that?
Student. If you're a student,
a monkey,
a free-thinking monkey.
And I think we just, set up a little different. We'll be more prepared next time.
Yeah.
Kevin, I got to say, your little show here makes Wayne's World look pretty high-tech.
You know, and that's what I'm going for. I'm going
exactly.
that it's really not so much a studio as it's the center of the universe.
We need showgirls.
And by the way, this filthy couch.
If it could talk like exactly the spot you were sitting in, like my God,
absolutely revolting.
The smell. We won't even get into that.
I think it's seen a little bit of ass. Little bit of ass.
I got it from the massage parlor.
I mean, I grew up in East LA in Compton, and this couch grosses me out. So.
Right at home.
I lived under a bridge for 2 years, eating cold beans and
you have. That's a true story. That's what it's amazing thing about you is you've survived so many times.
I had open sores on my feet because I couldn't afford shoes, and I had maggots growing in those sores. I was that poor, and this couch grosses me out. So.
See, and so
in a couch like this, you could rent a couch out like this. For
I would
5 minutes at a time.
For what? Biological experiments?
For ass.
Play. Don't get all sodomy-ish. Oh, Mike's going all off on the sodomy.
Sentimental now.
No,
I didn't say sodomy. I said play.
Well, I'm not going to segue into that. It's just too bouncy to get out of that one.
You sure? You're positive.
I want to talk about.
Let's turn the cushions upside down.
No! Don't turn them upside down. There's too much. No, there's evidence under there. Oh my God! See, there isn't anything. It's a very boring couch. It came from I don't know. It came from Binbrook, so it can't be that bad. I mean, they don't.
Oh yeah! Look!
Look! Oh my God!
Somebody's ring piece is still stuck there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a loony. Hang on.
Oh, look at that! That couch is paying off. Not only this couch, but does your couch give back?
Penny.
And
some rosemary.
Rosemary. Someone was spicing a chicken.
Yeah, there you go.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You're detracting from the seriousness of what we're trying to get to here, Mike. Which is Cadillac Bill, which is like I think what is really what you're about is taking what you do seriously, but you don't take yourself seriously.
Yeah, that's correct. I really don't actually. The next song, if you wanted to play it, it's all about cannibalism.
Tell me about cannibalism.
Well, I don't know if any of your viewers are interested in this sort of thing or into that kind of stuff, but we're not, on the whole. We're not into cannibalism, but I just thought it would be fun to write a fun sort of light-hearted little family-oriented song about the fun of potential cannibalism.
It's certainly interesting.
Within the family?
It's really all in good fun for the whole family to enjoy. And, for those of you who are interested in it, you might enjoy it.
Certainly cannibalism, when you inject that into a conversation,
yes,
that's you got yourself an interesting conversation all of a sudden.
And they tend to be on one
music
side
is
or
the
the
same
other.
thing. Cannibalism in music is nothing but units. And that's what...
A lot of units.
Lots.
Like, have you ever tried it? Because I haven't, although I've thought about it. Particularly in if you're in a plane crash,
yes,
very much so. Even if the plane is delayed, like taxiing on a runway for 20 minutes, I've certainly thought about it.
You get hungry,
and when I've run out of my little package of peanuts, the first person I look at is the guy next to me. So basically, these thoughts come to me.
Yeah, and people eating people, Mike, must hold a special place in your heart.
Well, I've never eaten a person before.
Not a whole
I've
person.
allowed a person to eat part of me.
Yes.
So basically, this video...
You are what you eat, boys.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather be a cheeseburger than a vegetable or a fruit any day. Or I'd rather be a slice of pizza than a fruit.
For sure, absolutely.
Especially depends what kind of pizza, but I guess not.
Yeah.
All right,
They made
so
pizza for a reason. They made fruit for a reason too.
for after
That's the
pizza.
sticking asses and stuff like that. That's not me. That's not you either. I'm sure none of us.
None of us. No, that's what fruit is exclusively for. Hence the term. So we're going to get to people eating people about cannibalism and another little
lovely
slice.
pictures of delightful pictures of cannibalism in this video. So look away if you're a bit squirmish.
Here we go.
Squeamish.
People eating people from Cadillac Bill on BarbershopPodcast.com.
I eat chickens and fish, cows and pigs. I eat them up whole and spit out the pips. I'm getting a bit bored with living like this. I want something that I've never had, something exotic. Maybe it's bad, but I want human beings pureed as pate, spread out on toast and serve them today. I bet we'll be good, fried anyway, or maybe baby grill or baked a souffle. Oh, I know we'll taste best either way we dress. So eat one another, give the pigs all the rest. I'm way more than a carnivore. I'm getting a bit bored with just animals raw. I want human beings served anyway, on a silver tray or just cold the next day. They're delicacies, we could be fricassees. Put our brains to it, get some head cheese.
But there in a spit, baby, how I like it. I think about you every time the barbecue's lit. A bit of tongue in cheek or something that's sweet. When I meet a nice man, I'm gonna settle down and eat. There'll be people eating people, baby, that's what I like. People eating people, baby, you know it's alright.
Girls eating girls,
Girls eating guys,
guys eating girls with a salad on the side.
It's a tasty ass and chasm, it'll make your backbone spasm. Well, that's it for me, I ain't no herbivore. I don't want no nuts or fruit anymore. I'm gonna let all the pretty scenery be. Just a quarter-pounder man will satisfy me. I'm just a cannibal, baby, don't you understand? I wanna have every man right there in my hand.
Cannibal girls all around this whole world. They'll break your heart and have it well done. You've never had so much fun until you're in a bun. Cannibal girls slipping you the tongue. There'll be people eating people, baby, that's what I like. People eating people, baby, think it's alright. Play with my food. Do you know Scrabble? I'll pour the wine and marinate you all night. Sprinkle dill over your thighs. I'll eat out. Let's eat out tonight. Go warm up the car and we'll go for a ride. I love your blue eyes. A large order of fries.
BarbershopPodcast.com. It's the same, Bill. I'm loving it.
Yeah, we almost did it.
Almost did. I forgot. You see, I'm used to just being the gorgeous face, you know.
Are we on now?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Mike, try to behave yourself. We're on the air
Wouldn't
now.
mind taking a couple pictures first.
All right, get some close ones.
Here we go.
I want to look like I'm serious, like I'm interrogating. Bill, what you know.
Kevin, I just wanted to say I've got a little surprise for you. When you asked me to come on your show, I wanted to do a little audio, just something little fun, and Mike, I'm trying to
You
look
have
really
to.
comfortable and cool.
This is what you do when you get there.
All right.
Mike takes his job very seriously.
For anyone listening on iTunes, Mike's walking around taking close-up pictures of everything and taking 1,000 of them.
Yes, he's got a
Couple pictures.
hot camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. It takes some 8x10s of that.
We needed,
Yeah, you take a few pictures, and in there, there's going to be a couple of gems.
It's a couple
we needed
sweet
like
things.
another hole in our head.
Yes.
So yeah, I wanted to do something just for your show.
Yes.
When I was invited on, I thought, wow, this is exciting. Well, what a thrill and an honor to be on
So you
Kevin's
thought.
little podcast thing. Yeah, so I thought at the time.
Yeah.
I was wrong, but it seemed like a good
So
idea
be
when I
it.
first was invited. But so I put together this little thing of me in the RAF when I was flying a Lancaster bomber heading over to Germany to bomb Berlin. So I thought it would be fun for your viewers to hear what it's really like for a Lancaster bomber pilot during World War II times. So I don't know if any of your viewers are knowledgeable about the war.
I'm
and
going to take
history,
some notes.
and really the goings on behind within a Lancaster in 1941.
Well, it certainly sounds like fun to me.
So no one's ever heard this. I've only heard it once. I wrote it last night while I was on the bookmobile. I drive the bookmobile, and I was writing it. I went home, and then I discovered that I can use my camera to do the audio. I can record it. So I recorded it, threw it together, got some Lancaster sounds, and it's done. And this is the first time anyone's ever going to hear it. And hopefully it's not completely terrible.
I can hardly wait to hear it.
I've heard it.
It's brand new. It's brand new. It's fresh. hot
Mike
off the
heard it, and he
presses.
gave the thumbs down on it.
Okay.
He told me not to play it.
All right.
So,
So we're gonna make our own mind up about Bill's.
Kevin, this is for your viewers
and I thank you for
to
it.
enjoy or to reject.
Okay, this is for you on barbershoppodcast.com. Bill Boyd Wilson, Cadillac Bill.
Okay, chaps, we're right now taking off from Biggin Hill Air Base, heading for the coast. Just reached 20,000 feet in an RAF Lancaster, destination Berlin. Gonna give those Jerrys a dose of their own medicine. Show them a spot of British firepower, what? Well, over the English Channel right now, the sun is just coming up on a glorious morning. The French coastline coming into sight, a lovely view, I must say. The navigator and rear gunner playing a round of checkers. We're all having our morning tea, but the only thing to warm us up here is bloody cold. Oh, just past Cherbourg. We're flying rather low, keeping at 2,000 feet so those Jerrys won't see us coming. We're just skimming the treetops. Marvelous work, chaps. Here we go. Crossing the Rhine now. Now in Germany. Good show. Those blighters won't know what's coming. Over and out for now. Cheerio. Okay, this is Wing Commander Wilson here checking in. We just coming in over Berlin right now. About 9:35 a.m. A beautiful morning. What a lovely city. All just glimmering in the morning sun. I must say, a bit of a shame we have to bomb it. Damn war. But if you could see the mess they made of Coventry, the brutes, we don't feel too bad. Okay, bomb doors open. Steady, chaps. Almost there. Lovely city. There we go. Bombs away. That should teach them. Show them a bit of what we're made of. Good show, chaps. Okay, now let's hightail it back to Blighty. Ah, there goes the flak guns. Yes, they're blooming firing at us now, the brutes. we make it back now in one piece, it'll be a spot of okay. Yes, Jerry's got us in his crosshairs for sure now. What an absolute bit of bother, this flak. Those Jerrys are making it quite clear they don't appreciate us being here. Well, we're just going to try to slip out of here and sally forth home. A job well done, chaps. We can make it out of this mess. A pint all round on me. Oh, there goes a close one. Okay, a bit of bother. Just blasted off our tail flap. Now that's not cricket, what? Okay, I gotta sign off now. A bit of tricky flying to do. Limp this bird back home. Over and out. Had a bit of bother from Jerry. He managed to knock out all our hydraulics, but we're still in the air and might make it home scot-free. Heading home with a tail flap shot off. If I can just make it back to Biggin Hill Airfield, and then off for a pint if I make it. Tally-ho. Blast. Didn't quite make the Dover Cliff. Managed to parachute out before the crash. I'm about to touch down. Can't talk now. Cheerio. I'm at a payphone in Southampton. I just ditched my lank in the drink and I'll hitchhike from Dover to Sussex for a cup of tea with the Duke of Beaufort and a snog with the Duchess of Beaufort, and back to Biggin Hill and see what Bomber Command has lined up for another mission to Germany. Apparently, Squadron Commander has named it Operation Bailout without a parachute. Sounds marvelous, I said. Count me in. We'll really catch Jerry with his trousers down, by gum. Also, I do hope you've got some bandages. I seem to have caught a bit of shrapnel in my shoulder and lost a leg in the ordeal. Damn war. Anyway, gotta go. Cheerio. Tally-ho, chaps. See you in Berlin.
My God, that's so moving. It's like I was there.
I made it for you and for your 200 viewers.
Thank you, and increasing on a weekly basis. And I can't see your presence not affecting our ratings in any way but an upward.
Well, that's why I wore the glittery jacket, Kevin, and I would encourage all of your guests from now on to do a little, even if it's a bad little crap thing I just did. It just helps to. Makes your show a little bit more unique.
It's a celebration of life.
I mean,
it was either that or we're going to have audio of Mike in the toilet.
In the toilet, which was also 5 minutes long.
That's a show in itself.
Yeah.
Chances are your viewers may have preferred to hear that, but
it's possible.
Next time. Why don't you get Mike in next time and
It's all in jest.
A toilet special.
Yes, you have to understand that people still like poo-poo pee-pee jokes and pee-pee jokes, and
for some people, number 2 is really number 1.
Diarrhea, eh, Mike? That's your department. Yeah, you'll really add a little flavor, a little bit of flavor.
Oh, but
it's runny tummy.
Ryan, you must be overly impressed with the level of decorum in today's show.
This is my favorite show ever. This is my favorite one so far. Definitely. Yeah, we got to do Mike on his own. We got to do an hour and a half with Mike.
Yeah,
a couple beers.
Yeah, it could get a couple
add
beers.
A bit of class to your show. Bring up the intelligence, and that's Mike's job.
Yeah, that's Mike's
Raise
job.
the bar.
His diarrhea.
I would just like snap drunken judgment. I want to throw 200 names at you. Give me
make a game out of it.
8-word critique. Yeah,
it could be like Damien from The Omen, you know.
Well,
surprise everyone.
I want to play some more off of this historical record, which we'll try to find some way of. I mean, some of it's ancient history. I can see where
yes, it's getting more and more recent
as time comes on.
The final song, I don't know how we're doing for time, but the final song literally was recorded a few months ago. The video was shot about a month or two ago, and it's really all about when I die, and when the creeping bent is all old and decrepit, and It's a sort of sad-ish song, but I think it's bright. It's a bright future we have.
Because it's recent, why don't we give a little shout out to where you recorded it and who helped you with the video?
Absolutely. It was at Danny Z's.
Yeah.
Recorded. I do all of my recordings now at Danny Z's.
Blue-tailed Studio. Danny Z is
So he's a
producer
integral part in the Hamilton music scene. And the video, we shot it over at Robert Moorfield's. He's a bit of a filmmaker here in Hamilton. And I edited the video, and actually at the end of the video you'll see footage. I got all this old 1920s footage, and there's footage of these elephants running through New York City, down Main Street, like Manhattan. And I just thought this was the weirdest footage I've ever seen, because whenever the circus would come into town, they'd let the elephants run out. And for some reason in the 1920s, it was okay to let elephants run through downtown Manhattan with people running after them.
Those were the days. And if there were one or two people got stomped or smashed, it was the cost of doing business.
There was no TV then, so that's the...
Don't fuck with Barnum and Bailey. They were powerful people. They were Illuminati.
They were?
Yeah, absolutely.
You just make it up. You'll just say any old thing, but it sounds good.
Okay.
And so, Mike, this is about when we get old and die, as the member of the Creeping Band, and
it's going to be happening soon.
These days are coming fast.
That's this song. Is this song.
This song.
Okay.
So,
and this is from. Want to show it to you? Give me that piece of work.
With that in mind, I think, boys, we're all going to have to give ourselves a prostate exam after this song.
No, I got to go.
That's what aliens are for.
May as well, if you're going to die, you may as well know why.
The Cadillac Bill story, not available. And we will release the hounds.
Okay.
With this song.
Prostate exams, everybody.
A dash good anal probing.
Everybody loves it. On barbershoppodcast.com.
When I'm old, when I'm gone, will anyone still remember this song? Will it be played on the radio the day I go to let the whole world know? Will it still ring within your hearts? Or be forgot, 'cause it never made the charts? Will these notes be remembered or be forgot? Will they remain composed while I am not? Gather around a piano to sing this song after I'm gone. Will Bogman be sang instead that day when friends come round on Christmas Day? No one need pay any royalties 50 years after I'm set free. Will anyone be around at all to remember this song and its chords? Will this song be played around the world when I'm so gone and remember the words? Will anyone
shows when we're as old as the Rolling Stones? Will it be in any record store when I'm passed on and the band's no more? We've got more bubbles now than ever before, and maybe one day we'll have some more.
You're in for a special treat. Flown in on Air Force One all the way from Afghanistan. We are gonna take you on a journey of sight, a journey of sound, a journey of my eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames and messieurs, let me introduce to you the greatest rock and roll show on earth. We are Cadillac Bill and the Creeping Band.
This song might ring into eternity in everyone's hearts when I'm set free. Or maybe never get much play, 'cause no one cared for it much anyway. When I'm old and so's all the band, will any of you remember how this song went? Maybe they'll play it after we're gone around the world, just to say so long.
A beautiful piece of work.
Thanks.
I'd like
Kevin.
to give a shout out to Dan Koltov and Mike Williams, who played on some of those great things. I'm not going to.
Oh, jeez, I didn't push, baby.
It was all, yeah. If you want to get all of the classic footage, I'm sure, we'll make this available. Bill, is nothing but if not a consummate professional businessman, and I'm sure he'll make the Cadillac Bill story available to you in the studio
on YouTube and stuff. Anyone go on YouTube, you can check out some of the stuff.
Excellent.
Have fun in the privacy of your own bathroom
with a little bit of the creeping bent. Cadillac Bill, Mike Holler in the studio. Thanks, guys, for coming out. It's been wonderful. With your glory. Welcome. Good night.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Well, that was